Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I have Tag back on the channel again. Tag, has been like 2 weeks. I missed you, man. How you doing?
It's been a fat minute, man. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad to have you back. And you went flawless victory style, Mortal Kombat style, 20-0 in the challenge, the CRL challenge. Congratulations, first off. Number 2 is we're going to have a really great video in store for you guys today, sharing the deck that he used to get there and really kind of going into the matchups and discussing the moves that Tag make. You guys know, as we normally do it here, we'll end off with Tag coaching me on a live match using this deck. So, Tag, first off, man, tell us a little bit about this deck. It's kind of popular. Actually, it's really popular. I just checked Stats Royale. This is the #1 win percentage deck in all of the CRL challenge, at a little bit over 72%, I think, at the time. So it's crazy. Tell us about what makes this deck so good.
Yeah, so this deck is a better variation of the old standard pencil variation of Three Musketeers.
Yes.
What it has,
no pencil.
It has Minion Horde, it has Elixir Collector, and then it has Three Musketeers as poison bait. A lot of times, because you don't have Goblin Gang, they're going to try to just zap your Minion Horde. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have Miner in cycle. You're going to have to utilize your Miner plus Minion Horde and try to bait out a poison. If you can bait out a poison against a lot of decks with Miner, then even if it's a negative trade and you do a -1 trade, then they will not be able to kill your collector. You pump up in the middle. They will not have poison in cycle. They go in for a Miner. You kill the Miner with a Bandit or a Dark Prince, and then the Bandit or Dark Prince counter pushes. They have to expend Elixir on that, and despite the negative trade with the Miner and Minion Horde, you're still going to get that back with the Elixir Collector recuperating the Elixir.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Really quick, in this deck, one question I have, like, right out the gate, and it's probably kind of a weird question to ask first about it, but if they pump and you don't have pump in your starting hand, with this deck, do you cycle to Elixir Pump, or do you pressure, like, let's say you have Bandit and Dark Prince in your starting hand and you have no Miner and Pump. Do you ever bridge spam with this, or do you not do that?
Yeah, you definitely have to bridge spam with Dark Prince and Bandit, and then go in for a Miner if you don't have Elixir Collector. But first and foremost, one of the key tips with this deck is if you both have put Elixir Collectors on the field, you want to be the second person to drop your Miner, because if you're the first person, they end up defending with a Bandit or a Dark Prince. Then they can have the counter push of that Dark Prince or Bandit accompanied by their Miner. So then there's dual lane pressure, and then you lose the game because.
Wow, that's a good tip there.
Yeah.
Pro tip. All right, awesome. Hey, let's hop into the first replay here, and it's against the Pekka deck. Tag, I hate this deck, man.
Yeah, man.
You were on the channel talking about this deck last time.
It's the hardest variation of this. Well,
yeah.
Besides someone running arrows, this guy has actually got Zap. So Log is an easy free W, because as soon as they poison your Pump, or as soon as they poison your Three Musketeers, you go in for Minion Horde plus Miner and you take a tower, because Zappies don't do well. You can zap the Zappies. They then take forever to recharge and do damage to your Minion Horde. And the Minion Horde just kind of wrecks everything. But since he has Zap, you're going to see when I go in for a Miner plus Minion Horde soon, he's actually going to be able to deal with this. Usually they have to poison it, and if he poisoned it, then I get a free collector. But he was able to get away with the Zap specifically because he had the right card rotation and he had the right deck matchup. So.
All right, well, let's watch it, man. 3, 2, 1, play.
All right, sounds good. I thought we were already in. Sorry.
Oh, I thought I was in, but I was paused. Okay, you're with me though?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, obviously you have a really good starting hand, would you say?
Yeah, so I love Elixir Collectoring up in the middle at the start. You never want to go in the back. If you go in the back and then they go in for a graveyard, you lose the game. So always going in the middle is optimal. Even though like Log Bait Rocket isn't a thing, graveyard is still very prevalent. I tried to block the Miner and the Royal Ghost with the Ice Golem. It didn't quite work out, but as I said before, always going in for that Miner plus Minion Horde. It's going to bait out, like I was really hoping that he was going to have Log.
Right,
and that's why I was trying to bait out a poison. But we still get a lot of damage on the Spear Goblin Hut, and then it's negligible for the rest of the duration. I don't have to worry about it. And then I know that I'm just going to go in for a Collector in the middle. I know that he has poison, so I don't really want to mess around with it too much.
Okay. So why did you cycle that bandit in the back instead of playing her like on the opposite bridge or something?
I just don't like playing super aggressive.
Okay.
It's just not my play style with this deck. I rather just play slow and steady and then cycle pumps. And it usually works out that way. Like, I really dislike playing hyper aggressive when I have the opportunity to in single elixir at least. I just want to feel out my opponent.
Okay.
And another key thing that I want to touch on right there is I let the flying machine hit my tower and I prioritize defending my pump. With this deck in general, you really want to prioritize, at least in single elixir, getting the pumps up, getting an elixir advantage. That's how you win games. You want to catapult ahead of your opponent by getting the elixir advantage, capitalizing when they don't have their counters in hand, and having really calculated aggression just based off of that.
Yeah, and calculated aggression is just what we saw there, right? Is that you went in with a minor minion horde. Well, you defended with minion horde, then you went in with a minor and the bandit. Is that just recognizing that they didn't have enough elixir to drop like a Pekka? Or
exactly,
they didn't have anything really. Yeah,
he didn't have enough. I knew that he would have been able to deal with the remnants of the minions, but he wouldn't have been able to deal with the bandit. He was at way too low of elixir. When I was playing these games, I was in the zone. This is my 19-0 game, and I was counting elixir. I knew that he had no shot of dropping anything else. I've also seen this deck a million times, so you can easily know, like, okay, well, Royal Ghost, what is that going to do? If he drops a reactionary Royal Ghost, which he didn't have in cycle at that point, if he did that, it's not going to stop a bandit because it has to get a shot off on the bandit first. So, like, there was no hope, man.
For sure, man. And I noticed that you've only played, well, it took till 30 seconds left or 35 seconds left in the match for you to even play Three Musketeers. Is that a common theme for you? Is that early on in the match you won't even play Three Musketeers in some matches?
Most of the time, I mean, in single elixir, if you're able to capitalize and do enough, like, if you're able to kill 5 or 4 elixir in single elixir with Three Musketeers, that's generally a good rule of thumb at dropping it. But I don't really like dropping it too much. I feel like, especially against this Pekka deck, you drop 3 Musketeers, you cycle it at the bridge, right?
Yep.
What happens when the man just drops a Pekka on the 2, eats the 1, and then drops a Royal Ghost and just bridge spams you with the Pekka, and you're down an incredible amount of elixir. Like, he can eat a full health Musketeer, he can lose 1,000 damage, and then take your tower and you lose the game.
Yeah, totally true. Hey, I noticed that you went against a mirror matchup against Ming. Do you want to watch that and maybe cover that? Because this is the most popular deck, because so that means you're going to be running against it as well, right? So let's kind of talk about Three Musketeer versus Three Musketeer strategy. I assume that your number one piece of advice is going to be what you told us before about the minor, is that you don't want to be the first to play Three Muskies in most situations. Is that correct?
No doubt, man. Just get those pumps on the field, prioritize that, and
pump and protect, right?
You can. You're going to see calculated aggression come into play here.
All right, cool. Yeah. Let's watch it. 3, 2, 1, play.
Awesome.
So, again, you both have pump in the starting hand, so things are pretty even here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, just kind of walk us through your thought process after. Obviously, you guys are both going to pump up here. Once he pumps up, are you tempted to send in the minor?
Not really.
Okay.
I just want to wait to the last possible second. I was
abiding by the rule. Yeah.
Yeah, I was contemplating doing it, but I just abide by the rule in almost every case scenario. As soon as I see the pump, I'm a little bit scared about that. Notice how I didn't minor. I was just like, I was waiting. I just dropped the bandit in the back, kind of chilled. I didn't know if he was running golem or not, but here's the situation, right? He doesn't have very much elixir. Dark Prince is coming through. The minor gets on top of the pump, and then look how much more damage I do.
Unbelievable. Crazy. And it was just following that rule that you told us at the top of the episode. Don't be the first one to play your minor.
Exactly, and now it's a snowball effect. In this matchup, it doesn't matter. That Dark Prince damage, I really don't care. Yeah. As long as I get the Elixir Collector advantage. Like, he could do 1,500 damage early on, and it still wouldn't matter because the only way he's going to chip damage me out is minor, and you always want to minor the pump, right? So
yeah, pause right here.
Pause
around 149. Sorry to interrupt you, because I do want to talk about that bandit that you sent in there. And you knew he had minor in hand, and you sent in the bandit right before he had a chance to attack your pump. Was that kind of a calculated play, or why did you send in that bandit behind the ice golem there on the left?
I had to cycle to a minor, and I had to apply a lot of pressure. If I didn't apply a lot of pressure, then I knew for a fact that he would be able to defend the Elixir Collector of his own. So I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, because at this pause screen right now, you guys can see is that he has 1 elixir away from playing, or actually less than 1 elixir away from playing a Dark Prince. but because you were so aggressive there, he wasn't able to protect it at all. So it seems like having like that really keen awareness of when to pressure, not only to just keep the pressure up, but also to make sure you can attack his pump as soon as possible is key to this victory.
No doubt, man. That's what it's about. And you're just going to see this lead snowball and snowball.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1 play. So here we go. Yeah, Bandit gets to the tower.
Unfortunately, I do lose my collector here, but since his miner is so far out of cycle, I get back to another one, and he's not able to punish it. The only way that you can ever punish a pump is miner in this matchup, so he's kind of screwed. I mean, he could zap it for an even trade. Zap does negate 2 elixir, but then if you zap it, then you don't have minion horde. Can we pause right now?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the biggest thing. I noticed that he pumps up, it's single elixir, and he cycled his ice golem. What is he going to do to a minion horde, Ash? There's nothing that he can do. He doesn't have enough elixir for 3 musketeers.
I mean, he has zap and a minion horde of his own, but he's so much elixir away from it. But yeah, you're right.
7 elixir.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go bridge spam left-hand lane. I'm going to take out his tower, and then I'm also going to kill his pump because his pump is right next to it. So.
Oh my God! So you win. I mean, you already were in the lead, but now you win because of this push, because of that mistake.
Yeah, as soon as you see Ice Golem and single elixir cycled in the opposite lane, like that's something you can't do.
3, 2, 1.
That's really bad.
Play. All right, so here it comes. You see the Ice Golem, you're like, oh crap, you just screwed up. You're waiting until you get the 8 elixir necessary. And here it comes, maybe?
Yeah, here's the pain train, man.
There it is. Oh my God. All because he dropped the
Ice Golem,
Ice Golem there. Unbelievable.
And he loses his pump too, so.
Dude, that's GG. Wow. So, hey, is it safe to say that you never want to cycle Ice Golem in this deck for no reason?
I mean, usually you don't want to, at least in the mirror matchup, right? You got to save it for the minion horde. Notice how I utilize my Ice Golem here. Ice Golem plus Zap obliterates the minion horde. Easy.
That's true. But even in like even if you're going against a deck with no minion horde, like as long as they have some sort of like annoying air units, like bats or something like that, shouldn't you really be saving your ice? Like just, when I say save, I mean just not throwing away for no reason.
Yeah, I really like if you're tryharding in a lot of situations. Sometimes you don't even want to cycle cards at the start of the game, just simply because you don't know what your opponent has.
Yeah,
that's one of the rule of thumbs.
Yeah.
If you watch like pro players in competitive matches, a lot of times you'll see the stylistic preference of most players to just like not cycle a single card, just wait until your opponent does the first move, because you never know what your opponent's running, and you can automatically lose games just because of a simple cycling error.
Sure. Hey, so a question for you. We didn't see this in this matchup, but let's say that your opponent was to drop an aggressive 3 musketeers same lane, and they make the move first. Is the correct move just to basically mirror his moves, a second or 2 behind, so you're fighting on your side of the arena, and then basically spamming like Dark Prince, Ice Golem, Zap?
Yeah, so usually if you drop your 3 musketeers first, you automatically lose the game because of defender's advantage. You're inherently able to drop Dark Prince, you're able to drop Minion Horde right on top. And that's why, like, the mirror, we didn't really talk about why this deck is superior to the old one, but essentially you have more utility, you have more ways of defending miners with this deck. So, like, you're going to have Bandit and Dark Prince, and then Dark Prince just does way better against 3 musketeers. You can drop it right on top. So, in that case scenario, if he does do that, he's kind of screwed because you just drop Dark Prince and then, his 3 musketeers die.
Okay.
But yeah, defender's advantage is pretty OP, man.
Let's watch you against Rage Life, who I just looked at his profile. He's a 19-game winner. Tag, I think you might have played spoiler for this poor guy. But I'm going to pause at the beginning. Let me know when you're with me. This is a tricky matchup because it's bait with miners, so he still has something to attack your pumps with, obviously. No rocket, however. So maybe talk a little bit about bait matchups in general. Is it generally more of a difficult matchup for 3 Musketeer players?
Yeah, it's way more difficult because you have Zap, right? And when you have Zap and they have Goblin Barrel, they can just go in for a tank Goblin Barrel and then you just don't have an answer to it. So it's really the only thing that actually kills it in one fell swoop is going to be the Dark Prince, but you have to get that timing down and you have to like predict it.
You have to predict it,
unreasonable.
Yeah. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Awesome.
I find the Dark Prince move is like so rewarding and gratifying when it happens, but it's so difficult to predict the exact timing because you need to start him behind your King Tower, get him to a charge to one-shot the entire Goblin Barrel.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
So here it comes.
This is like a really bad start for me. Just not having Ice Golem and then having to go in for a Zap plus Minion Horde to counteract his Minion Horde and losing my pump.
Yeah.
It was just a feel bad man moment, but he did
activate though.
Yeah. That made me laugh pretty hard when that happened. There were a few times during this challenge that I just like burst out laughing.
Hey, let me pause for a second. I got a question for you. When you're sending in your miner to attack someone else's pump, like obviously that guy sent in his miner, and his miner ended up activating the King Tower. But that's not what I want to ask you exactly. But when you're sending in your miner at a pump in the front or a pump in the back, where are you normally putting your miner? Is there like a safer placement to not get countered by or prediction countered by your opponent?
It's kind of difficult. I usually just do the tile that he did, maybe like one tile up.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's really easy to predict
tough.
Almost every single time. It's really about your opponent's predilection. It's not really.
Yeah, because you can always see which side of the arena the miner is going to. So all you have to do is kind of get a really quick read on that and just predict on that side a little bit.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah. What about when you're sending it to the back, the miner? Is it just basically wherever, just try to switch it up like you normally do a miner?
I usually switch it up. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I guess the biggest thing is never going in the same spot every single time. If you're going on the same side. Then you should be switching up your miner placements like really deep into the elixir collector and then like far out, like right at the surface of it.
I got you. So. All right, let's play again. Resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Boom.
Awesome.
All right. So now you have.
So I actually thought he was running 3 muskies because I saw Ice Golem, I saw Minion Horde, I saw Miner, and then I saw the barrel, and I'm just like, what is this guy doing? What is this madman up to?
Thankfully, you do have that activated King Tower helping you out a little bit. And you get back to pump. Yeah.
So here's another misplay that he did. He cycled Princess. Like, I don't really know why he would cycle Princess in this situation. It just seems kind of awkward. And another thing that I'm always doing in almost every single situation that I can, I'm going to be defending the pump, right? Like, I ate the Minion Horde damage like a snack, and I decided, you know, if I eat that damage, I think that I can definitely go and get away with a huge elixir advantage, and that's what I did. He dropped Princess. Well, he had Princess at the bridge. I knew that he wasn't going to have like the Princess in cycle or not enough elixir after dropping the Goblin Barrel. I went in for Minion Horde, killed the Princess, and then went in for a Miner. And if he had dropped a Princess, then the Princess would have targeted the Miner first. Minion Horde was still going to kill the tower because he just overcommitted with the barrel. If you know that your opponent overcommits at any point and you are aware of their elixir, just go in for punishes. Obviously, it takes the ability to count elixir, but it's definitely worth it if you're able to do it.
And this game's already over, you know?
Yeah, it's just that's what happens with 3 Musketeers. You get an elixir advantage, you find out their card cycle, you identify that they don't have the correct card in cycle or they don't have enough elixir. Well, I knew he had Princess like in cycle at that point, but like he didn't have enough elixir to get it locked onto the Minion Horde, and he just lost the game as a result.
Is your ideal miner counter to protect your pumps Bandit?
Well, it's usually like the cheapest thing, right? So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. But I kind of want to stress again, like one of the biggest things is if they have a Princess at the bridge, if they drop it at the bridge specifically, you can go in for a Minion Horde and then you can go in for a Miner to tank. A lot of times they'll either have their own Minion Horde or they'll have Goblin Gang. You just zap it. Their Princess won't be in cycle because they dropped it at the river. Then you go in for a Miner and you just win the game. Like almost.
That's really solid. Yeah, I forgot who it was, maybe like Donkey Kong or somebody, but teaching me 3 Musketeers at the channel in the past, and that's exactly what they said. He was like, the #1 rule when going against bait is your most valuable card oftentimes is going to be Minion Horde.
Yeah.
So just find when they don't have Princess, you know you have like a really good shot at taking down their tower with an aggressive Minion Horde. Hey, Tag, let's go ahead and hop into I'm going to hop into a ladder match with this deck because I'd have to start a fresh challenge and it could be against a level 8 or something. So let's go ahead and hop in.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Let's do it. Do you think this deck is any worse or better on ladder versus challenge? Tourney standard?
It's way better in challenge. Way better in challenge because it's harder to level up on ladder. I would stick to the original one on ladder just because it's easier to level up. Also, I'm more comfortable with the other one because I've played it for so much longer. It just shows that this deck is easier to play. I think that this one is because you have more versatility with the Dark Prince and the Bandit. Like, you really only had Goblin Gang to defend Pumps and Ice Golem. I guess
so,
minor.
Hey, pay attention here for a sec. Sorry. Should I minion horde this?
Two muskies.
Okay.
Towards the lane of the giant.
Oh my god, look at this dude.
He's wild.
He's playing Rage, man. And the crazy thing is I'm like, I don't know, I'm not like super high on ladder, but I'm not really incredibly low either. I think I'm around like 6,000s or so in the world. All right, so he's playing minor Rage Giant Witch.
With a princess, yeah.
With a princess. Okay, so I'm going to pump up here.
Definitely.
I don't know what he has for...
He's going to have minor in cycle soon, so you have to get ready.
Yep. Okay, so he pumps in that.
You're not going to have minor for another 3 cards, so you just kind of have to chill.
Yeah. So I'm just going to have the Dark Prince kind of ready here.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a cycle Bandit in the back like you would do here.
Yeah, go right lane. Bandit.
Yep.
Nice. You can apply some pressure with the Dark Prince, right lane.
Okay.
Or you can split 3M. I don't think this guy's going to have, like, a big spell. I just don't think it at all. He hasn't shown anything else. You can go 3M, yeah, and then Ice Golem. He doesn't have a big spell, so you just pretty much win. The weird thing about these guys, like, a lot of ladder players, they'll try to get away with either Zap or Log and then no big spell. And when you identify that or you play a funky deck, you can just stack 3 Musketeers in one lane and you just automatically win. A lot of times against Mortar, too, sometimes if you have to defend against a Hog Rider, you sometimes need to drop 3 Musketeers in one lane. So you're going to have to drop 3M in one lane here and utilize Ice Golem.
Oh, my bad.
Ice Golem. Yeah.
Here you are.
As long as the Princess doesn't lock on, you're fine. And then just Zap. Awesome. Yeah, you got this in the bag, Ash.
Yeah, dude. This is, man, this is a pretty crazy deck. I think if we got a do-over, we would. But it's kind of cool to see people playing off-meta cards, even though it's definitely a wacky deck. But anyway.
This guy's got the Santa Claus Rage.
Yeah, baby. I mean, whatever. What do you think of, I don't know what even to say to this. What do you think of these cards that this guy's running?
I mean, he's got some type of bait element with the Princess, Skarmy, and then Minion Horde, but I don't think it's very optimal.
Hey, well, shout out to Rid Kosova. So, hey, you know what? Either way, it's a good deck and it's fun. Do you think that if you had to play, let's see what that guy was playing deck-wise. Actually, if you had to play a Witch, a Wizard, or a Giant Skeleton deck, even though they're kind of different, what would you play if you had to play one in a competitive tournament?
Giant Skeleton. I think its defensive capabilities is a lot better than a Witch or Wizard. Witch or Wizard, I feel like you kind of have to run in a Golem deck and just get lucky with spam.
Yeah. Whereas do you think that Witch is useless?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much. Unless you're all crap and you're crazy. But
all right, man. Hey, well, listen, Tag. Thank you so much for kind of breaking down the deck for us. I always love having you on, man. Can't thank you enough for continuing to come on the channel. And everybody out there, obviously, I think by now you guys are probably subscribed to SirTag on YouTube and followed him on Twitch. But if you haven't, go ahead and take a second, look down in the description, and follow him. Thank the man. Say hello to him on his comments. Tag, thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. I'm gonna have a 20-win video up on this deck, going to even in more detail than I think we're covering some other stuff too.
Awesome.
So if they want to check it out there on my channel,
I know I do.
Yeah.
I know I do, man. I need it. But I felt like we picked up a lot on this deck already just through today's video. So thank you so much. And guys, check out Tag's 20-win special. It will probably already be posted, I think, by the time that this one goes live. So after this video, hey, you're already at the end. Might as well go watch his. So Tag, thanks again, man. Really appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you want to see Tag's player profile, my player profile, go ahead and check them out in the description below on statsroyale.com. And a huge shout out to my YouTube partner, Bren Chong. Check out his information as well in the description. He does giveaways, all kinds of fun stuff, does a lot for the community. So thank him for sure. So guys, thanks so much for watching all the way till the end. Really appreciate it. And as always,